Machamp, the four-armed, incredibly buff fighting Pokemon. Machamp is one of the strongest and toughest Pokemon out there. Or was it? Let's find out! In this video, I will be covering Machamp through these popular competitive formats. In Gen 1, Machamp had a pretty good attack stat coupled with decent HP and defense. However, with the abundance of psychic types in the meta, Machamp found it very difficult to get some footing, especially with its lackluster special stat. Psychic types could take it out rather quickly, and since Machamp's speed is also quite lacking, a lot of Pokemon like Alakazam, Starmie, and Exeggutor could vaporize it with psychic moves. Bulky Pokemon like Slowbro and Zapdos could also tank hits easily and hit Machamp with super effective moves. Because of this, Machamp would most often be used late game when a lot of the psychic types were gone. Machamp could do a lot of physical damage, which is good against special walls. However, it would have to take a lot of damage as well, since it can't outspeed some of the normal types like Persian and Tauros. Machamp wasn't a bad choice per se, since normal types were so common. However, with psychic types being dominant as well, Machamp was definitely at a disadvantage in a number of situations. But that's okay, because in Gen 2, Machamp became a lot better. Since Snorlax, the best non-legendary Pokemon, was so common in the meta, Machamp was used often because it was able to KO Snorlax in 2 hits with Cross Chop, which is a much better stab move than Submission from last gen. Also, thanks to the special split, Machamp's special defense increased to 85, which is definitely a plus. Thanks to access to moves like Curse and its high physical attack, nothing wants to switch into Machamp and take a hit, since it could 2-hit KO almost anything. However, once again, Machamp's slow speed put it at a disadvantage, because by moving last, it has to rely on being able to take as much hits as possible in order to beat other Pokemon head to head. Though its defenses are pretty decent, Machamp also does not want to switch into heavy hitters like Snorlax or Tyranitar, as both of these Pokemon are able to KO Machamp in a few hits as well. Machamp may be able to survive 2 double edges for Snorlax, but one would want as much HP as possible in order to beat Snorlax in the head-to-head. Other Pokemon like Starmie, Heracross, and Venusaur who resist Machamp's stab and hit Machamp back pretty hard also make for good checks. But these Pokemon must also beware of switching into Machamp, as Machamp has the power to take them out as well, depending on what moves it has. For example, it could hit psychic types like Exeggutor very hard with a hidden power bug. However, having Fire Blast might be better in that move slot in order to hit Skarmory and Steelix instead. So it really depends on the set. Because of its high attack and access to a number of coverage moves, Machamp was a great Pokemon in Gen 2. Alright, Gen 3 Smogon Singles, Machamp got the ability Guts, which made it even more useful as a tank. Thanks to Guts, even if Machamp got status by Sleep, Burn, or Poison, etc., its attack increased by 50%. Machamp had quite a few sets, ranging from Bulk Up to Rest Talk. However, thanks to Choice Band combined with Guts, if Machamp was ever status with a Choice Band, it could deal major damage to anything that switches in on it. Even without one of the 50% boosts, if Machamp got a critical hit, it could even one-hit KO Salamence and Skarmory. Top threats like Blissey, Snorlax, and Tyranitar could also get one-hit KO'd by a fighting move, while Pokemon like Gengar and Dusclops did not appreciate a hidden power ghost. Status-inducing Pokemon like Dusclops and Weezing definitely did not want to burn Machamp with Will-O-Wisp, since it would only increase Machamp's damage. Since not a lot of things want to switch into Machamp, there were no direct counters, though Celebi was a decent check thanks to a stabbed psychic and ability to take hits from Machamp and recover if it does not have hidden power bug. Also, some of the Pokemon mentioned before could switch into Machamp and take at least one hit, but had to get rid of Machamp quickly or they will be 2 or 3 hit KO'd with a super effective move. Also, PP depletion was also one of its weaknesses, and Machamp could possibly run out of PP on Cross Chop, which was its stab move. Finally, Machamp is still very slow and could get outsped and taken out if the opponent gets a free switch. Though despite these setbacks, Machamp was used pretty often thanks to its immense physical damage. Alright, Gen 4 Singles, Machamp got yet another good ability called No Guard. This ability enables Machamp to never miss. This means that it had 100% accuracy on the move Dynamic Punch, which is 100 base power and guarantees confusion. Dynamic Punch ripped through steel types like Heatran and dark types like Tyranitar quite easily. This bumped up Machamp's usage greatly as it became an aggressive lead, which basically means it was a lead that beat up other leads. Very few Pokemon could one-hit KO Machamp, which means it could deal massive damage to other leads at least once. Leads like Azelf and Aerodactyl would lose one-on-one versus Machamp, since Machamp could drop their HP to their Focus Sash with a super effective move, and then take them out next turn first thanks to Bullet Punch. Though most sets did not carry Guts, making it vulnerable to status, Machamp could carry a Lumberry in order to heal status once and knock out the opponent who tried to inflict it. Machamp's move coverage was also pretty good, being able to run the move Payback for faster ghosts and psychic types. It could also run Ice Punch or Stone Edge for flying types like Zapdos, though Ice Punch was mainly used against dragons. Though if the attacking lead set wasn't preferred, Machamp could run a number of sets like Bulk Up or Substitute. Basically, so long as Machamp is able to get a hit in, it could deal immense damage to whatever it faces, and nothing wanted to switch into Machamp once again. The best way to cover Machamp was to predict and switch in safely to take advantage of Machamp's low speed and hopefully KO it before it can do any more damage. Checks like the Rotoms, who could switch in on a predicted Dynamic Punch, were well equipped to take out Machamp, though Machamp could still KO them in 2 hits. Gyarados with Intimidate could switch in on Machamp but must be careful of being confused. Some underused Pokemon like Spiritomb or Slowbro made for great Machamp checks, and Spiritomb or Zapdos, thanks to their pressure ability, could stall out Dynamic Punch's PP. However, a neutral hit from Machamp still did quite a bit of damage, and thanks to its physical prowess, Machamp saw a lot of usage during this meta. In Gen 4 VGC, Machamp was used a bit, and even saw itself in the finals of a regional in 2009. From what I could dig up, Machamps were, surprise surprise, used as tanks. Machamp carried a Lumberry once again to avoid being statused by Pokemon like Dark Void Smeargle. It could use Rock Slide to hit both opponents simultaneously, and of course it had Dynamic Punch, all while running the ability No Guard, which ensures it does not miss. Thanks to Dynamic Punch's added bonus of guaranteed confusion, other sweepers would take a lot of damage and also be confused, which puts them at risk. Rock Slide was good against flying types. However, Machamp's speed put it at a disadvantage against faster sweepers, and Machamp could be taken out by them in 2 or so hits. However, it seemed that Machamp was a decent choice for doubles. Alright, Gen 5, Machamp reprised its role as an attacking lead. However, its slow speed and only decent bulk wasn't enough for it to keep up with the top threats, and Machamp's usage went down to underuse. It was also outclassed by Conkeldurr as a bulky fighting type. Though Machamp could dispatch Pokemon weak to its coverage moves like Gengar, Gliscor, and Ferrothorn, Machamp could get 2-hit KO'd by neutral hits by a lot of things in the meta. Also, Pokemon like Reuniclus and Slowbro, who are slower than Machamp, did not take much damage from Dynamic Punch or Payback, and could take out Machamp with a Psychic move. Ghost types like Jellicent and Chandelure could also switch in on Machamp and severely cripple it or take it out with a stab move. Though Machamp was not bad by any means, Machamp went down in usage. In Gen 5 VGC, Machamp was supposedly not used that often. However, it was used in the VGC Seniors Worlds Finals of 2013 by Senior 2013 World Champion Hayden McTavish, despite being an unconventional pick, as the commentators were saying. Similar to Gen 4, Machamp had max HP and attack investment in order to tank a few hits and hit Pokemon with powerful Dynamic Punches and Rock Slides. Though this time around, Machamp could also carry Wide Guard, which is a priority move that protects both users' Pokemon from spread moves like Heat Wave, Blizzard, Earthquake, etc. This allowed Machamp to protect its teammates from these spread moves with good prediction. Just like before, Dynamic Punch was able to guarantee a confusion, which could hinder other sweepers. Though of course, its lackluster speed and only decent bulk hinder it in the face of faster top Pokemon that resisted its moves, like Latios and Thundurus, which is probably why it was considered unconventional. And finally, Gen 6, it looks like Machamp stayed in the underused tier just like in Gen 5. This was because of the new fairy types, which is another weakness Machamp has to deal with, as well as being able to take even less neutral hits from various Pokemon in the tier. Even with the addition of Assault Vest, which increased the user's special defense but can only use attacking moves, Psyshock from the Latios completely ignored that. Though Machamp wasn't a bad Pokemon, it just couldn't keep up with the top threats in Gen 6. And that's it. So how did Machamp do? Machamp was decent. It didn't start out spectacularly thanks to the abundance of Psychic in Gen 1, but for the next 3 gens it rose to the top. Unfortunately, its speed and only decent defense eventually became a liability in Gens 5 and 6. But hey, who knows, maybe it will make a comeback in the future as it did from Gens 2 through 4. Thanks for watching everyone. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to False Swipe Gaming for more weekly Pokemon content, and of course comment on what Pokemon you want to see next. Also, while I'm still shamelessly plugging, follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kellen_FSG, as well as Twitter at Kellen_FSG for more updates and other stuff. Alright, that's all I got. Peace out, everyone.